Hello friends, this is Andrea. I'm back to share another flip through of a journal that I've made. This one I actually made quite a long time ago. In fact, I made it at, I think, the beginning of 2020, so probably March or April in 2020. And it's just been sitting in one of my bins with my finished journals in it, and I realized that I hadn't been doing video flip throughs at that point when I created it, so I thought I should do one now. So this is an Alice in Wonderland journal. It is, I don't have my ruler with me, of course. Oh, I do. I have a little ruler, but it's still in the package. Let's see if I can get this out here. So it measures about 8 1/4-ish, more like 8 1/2, 8 3/4. Apparently I'll just randomly pick numbers. 8 3/4 by around 5 1/2. It's a big, it's a chunky one, I think. The front cover has a 3-dimensional piece on it here. The spine is a really fun piece of mushroom fabric that I found, and the cover is an original hard-covered book. I've put in eyelets here, as you can see, to tie the book together because it got a little bit bigger than I think I had anticipated. And I've also stamped on the ribbon, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, there we go, little forest creatures. So there's a little mouse, like the dormouse, some mushrooms, a fawn. I think those are the 3 stamps that I used, and there's a rabbit on here somewhere. There's the rabbit here. So I just thought it would be really nice. This is a gorgeous silk ribbon, so it's really floofy and beautiful. Inside, the front sort of, I don't know what you would call that, lock, I guess. The part that sticks up at the top is sort of a 3-dimensional, I don't know how well you'll be able to see it on camera, and I hope it's not glaring too much. But there's it's all done in dimensions. So there's mushrooms here with a teapot, and it's pouring into a teacup that's filled with flowers, and Alice is looking up at the Cheshire Cat, and there's the Mad Hatter's hat there. I really liked this diamond piece, paper, just because it really made me think of, obviously, Alice in Wonderland. And then there's the label there. It has some fun floofy ribbon or crochet ribbon at the ends, just to give it a nice sort of vintage look. So let's get inside. I'll untie it. It has 2 double-sided or doubled over pieces of silk ribbon. That's why it looks so floofy when it's tied. So I just love that. Now it's been sitting for a while, so the front cover is a bit stiff, but here we are on the inside. So I've done quite a lot of pockets and things. There's a great little front pocket here. There's Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and some journaling cards of the White Rabbit. And this is a little tea bag holder. I'm not sure if I put something. Yes, I have. There's a couple of little journaling cards on the inside there. And there's a really fun vintage guest check. Then the person I had stamped, they ordered tarts and tea. And there's some cute little mushrooms there, and just a fun little envelope with some mushrooms stamped on the side, and that's just an empty envelope there. This has a fun snail with butterfly wings as well. I really like that. I'm not 100% sure of where I got all of the kits, but I will do my best to put them in the description below the video. It may take me a little while to sort of go back through my digital files, because I'm sure you've heard me say before, I collect Alice digis so that I can make the most extraordinary Alice books that I can. There's a little White Rabbit journaling card. This was like an old vintage photo album card here that I just cut out and put a picture of Alice with the little pig. There's another White Rabbit with tea-stained cardstock on the back, and a little girl with wings. This background paper here is from Stamperia, from the Alice in Wonderland kit. I remember that one for sure. And on this side, some little leaves going up the side, and lots of cutouts. You'll see lots of cutouts here. This is some vintage trim that I found. Made a nice little pocket here that says I'm late, and it's just loaded with all of these great little ephemera, botanical ephemera. Here is the White Rabbit on this side, and it just sort of flips out for extra journaling space here. My sewing machine had a little bit of a party, likes to do that sometimes. There's a fun little label that I found. I have no idea where it came from. It might have been an internet freebie. And some botanical paper. Here is a planner that I bought that has a flamingo, and of course Alice and her flamingos. They're one of my favorite birds, so I have to always have a flamingo in there somewhere. And this is just a little washi sticker that I've put here. There is Absalom the Caterpillar. And this is a heart-shaped doily that I've just stitched to this piece of packing paper. And a beautiful piece of blue, I think they're blue asters. These flowers are so lovely. This here is the lock portion left over from when I created the front cover here. So I just, rather than putting it to waste, of course, used it. So I just glued the white rabbit on there and created a belly band out of it with a bingo card. Alice in Wonderland bingo card, some scrapbooking paper in the background that I folded over to create a page with a pocket. This could just be glued down. What I've done here is I've used the book page to create all these fun little pockets with the tags and such in here. But you could, and I put some writing paper here so you could journal on it, but you could quite easily glue that down to a page or create it as a little flip out if you so choose. This is an oversized recipe card, and I've put another Alice image here with a label and a faux stamp. Just tuck that back in. Here is some stenciling that I did just using my Ranger Distress ink here. Yeah, vintage photo. I use that a lot. And that's just on some lovely marble paper. Plain paper, some book pages. This I think was, yeah, just regular tea-dyed paper. Here's a really fun, I love airmail envelopes for some reason. I really love them. I don't know what it is about them. If it's the sort of whimsy of imagining something coming across the ocean in an airplane. I'm not sure what it is. But inside is a little journaling card with the cutest little squirrel. Almost like, looks like he's saying hello to a butterfly. It's just such a cute image. I believe this is a Mrs. Coggs image. Just tuck that very poorly. Just set that there. And here is the Queen and a card getting busted for painting the roses red. And I've just taken these little tiny playing cards and glued them together, front and back, and then just glued them onto the side here as a tab. This is a page from an Alice in Wonderland coloring book. So this is the center signature. So it's a nice big cupcake with a key on it. And here I've created a altered paper clip with a teacup on it. So it's an old, it looks like an old, it's a reproduction ticket for something, parking ticket. And I just put a little teacup there. And here I've created a little journal out of my scrap papers left from the project, and also a little scrap piece of the silk ribbon that ties it together that I just created as the spine. And it's just sewn right down the middle at the back there. I'm not sure if you can see the stitching. Probably not. It's a bit hidden. Moving on, there's the Queen of Hearts, and she's yelling at the white rabbit on the other side of the page. And that's that coloring page again. Another beautiful Alice book, and here's the other side of that airmail envelope. Label, I believe that's a Tracy Fox label, and inside is a shipping label, or a shipping tag, that I've just put some roses on. And this is a super distressed tag using Tim Holtz Distress Inks and some water. Here is a belly band using the Stamperia paper. And another book page with a little bunny rabbit stamp. So all of the stamps that are on the silk ribbon are somewhere hidden in the book as well, which is kind of fun. And here is another one of those card tabs to help you turn the page. On this side, I think this is from a Etsy shop called Hot Chocolate Designs. I'm pretty sure that's where this one is from. And then there's just a few more. There's a tag that I made here with the Mad Hatter and a really cool cutout image. Fussy cut. I love fussy cutting. It calms me right down when I'm stressed out. And we're just about to come up on recital at the moment, so it's a bit of a stressful time. So you can imagine my little scissors are going like mad. There's the other part of that beautiful floral paper. And here's the other side of the heart-shaped doily. I really like the idea, when I'm looking back on this now, I like the idea of sewing the doily to the paper and it not just being a flappy piece. I don't know, I think that's kind of a cool way to have it. Some grid paper. There's the other side of that tea-stained weekly journal with the flamingo. Here's the king and queen on some botanical paper. Another little flip out here. And an Alice page. Here is a pocket that I made using Cheshire Cat face cutout. So that was a fussy cut. And these are two, I think I got these from Michael's. They were like little invitations or Valentine, you know, you would put in with like as a tag for your baked goods. And I just glued them one on top of the other to make a multi-layered pocket, which works perfectly for Alice, of course. And this is another piece of that Stamperia paper and an Alice fussy cut. Going into the second signature, I had lots of fun making this journal. So I've done an altered envelope here with the dodo glued onto it, and I've created a belly band using the envelope. So there's a vintage reproduction of a vintage Alice, I think it's a movie poster, and another little tag here with the Mad Hatter and the March Hare, and I think the Dormouse getting stuffed into the teapot. And then I just did a really beautiful botanical butterfly tag here. I think that might be Graphics 45. There we go. Here's a piece of linen, a part of a linen tablecloth that I had, and a cute little rabbit that I fussy cut out. And this is a page from one of my Alice in Wonderland books that was falling apart. Not one of my collection, but one that was really in poor shape, but some of the pages had survived quite nicely. Some more tea stain paper. So there's lots of room for writing, even though it is still really decorated. Here is a wheel, or all the little clocks glued together, and I've just glued it down on this side so that this can be a tuck spot for a few little pieces here of ephemera. Another Alice digital and a flip out page, some lined paper. This is a piece from a poetry book. There's a cute little squirrel on some presentation paper. And there's another really cool Mad Hatter pocket with the Dormouse. And then here's the quote that says, "I don't want to be among mad people." I really like that quote with the Cheshire Cat. And there's some cheesecloth back there for some texture. And here's another piece of that silk ribbon, the binding silk ribbon that I have at the front cover that I've just glued on to strengthen. There's some fun little Alice tags. There's an Arthur Rackham, fantastic artist. I love his illustrations of Alice. There's another fussy cut of Alice with some hearts. Those were painstaking to cut out. There's the deer, and there's another, using the Distress ink, there's another stenciled set of mushrooms there. Humpty Dumpty, and mushroom with a little snail. Don't tell the squirrels, I think they look like snails. They'll get mad at me. A little snail with butterfly wings. This page is upside down, but I didn't bother fixing it because, hey, it's Alice in Wonderland. Everything is topsy-turvy. Here is a really funky belly band with the cards here, and there's some mushrooms that you could, I made it into a journaling card, but if you wanted to cut them out separately, you could. And here's another Alice journaling card, and another one here of a little girl Alice and the white rabbit. I'm not sure who the illustrator of that particular one is. This is a really funky fold. I cannot remember where I learned this, but it's so groovy. It's just a strip of paper that I had, and I did a little sort of triangle into a square fold here. So it looks kind of groovy. You could put a paper clip on that to hold that closed if you wanted to. And here's another card tab on the page here. There's another poetry page, lined paper. This little guy flips out. I hope that ruler's not shining on you. I don't even know if it's in the shot. There's the Cheshire Cat again, some lined paper, which is fun. Mock turtle and the dodo. I think, yeah, there's just another washi sticker with some botanical there. Here is, I'm just going to flip it over to this side because I think, yes, this is another altered paper clip that I made with mushrooms. I'm pretty sure these mushrooms came from Nick the Booksmith, but I'm not 100% sure. Again, I will have to, oops, I will have to make a mess apparently. I'll have to confirm that. So here, I think I'm going to have to decide to do this a little differently, is these came from the Stamperia kit, I think. Yes, these little playing cards. So there's a playing card here with a little fussy cut spoon that I cut out, and I just used some of that, what do you call it? The linen tablecloth that's in the book, and just made the teeniest, tiniest little notebook out of just some scrap papers. I'm gonna rethink how that guy clips on, hopefully. You know what? I'm gonna leave them there, and maybe I won't clip that one on. No. There's the other side of the page. Now this one's groovy. I had some fun thinking with this. I know it's not an original idea, but it was original to me at the time. This is the other side of the linen tablecloth. So I stitched a zipper so it can be zipped all the way down. And then on the inside, I did this fun little vignette of Alice and the Queen and the cards flying over at her, hearts. And it says, off with her head. And I've just put some plastic, I think this is recycled from maybe a t-shirt or undershirts or something. So it's definitely a plasticky feeling plastic. It's not vellum or anything. Just a fun little thing to hide in there, and you can use it as a pocket. And this is some vintage trim that I picked up ages ago in Philadelphia. I really liked that page. I thought that was very clever. Fun little cat with a crown and some butterfly wings, sort of my version of the Cheshire Cat. And on this side is a really cool piece of scrapbook paper that I found at our local scrapbooking store, but it has chess pieces in the background, which I thought was kind of neat. Here's a page from a little bird book. This is an envelope that has a little cat coming out the door here, and I just glued on Tweedledee and Tweedledum. That way I could Alicify it a little bit. And here's a couple of more journaling cards, again, just with tea-stained paper on the back. This is some vintage stationery that a friend had given to me. I think my friend Anita gave this to me, and I use it sparingly because I'm running out, but I love it. It has a very different texture, almost a waxy feel. It's got a nice sound to it as well. Here's a little hedgehog stamp. And some more Alice paper. Paper from a book. A little flip out there for more journaling space. Sometimes with these, what I like to do is also take, do I have a tiny... I don't have a tiny card, but I have a tiny tag. Oh, I do have a little tiny. These are some really fun playing cards that I found at my local Value Village. Just a little set of tiny playing cards. But with flip outs like this, sometimes they can be like, you know, hard to grab at and you're fiddling around trying to get it to open. So what I'll do sometimes is glue a little tab onto it so you can hold on to that as you open the page, and then it just adds a little bit more decoration. Or if you wanted, you could just add some glue down the sides, or not even glue. You could use double-sided tape and just create that as your own tuck spot pocket there. Lots of uses for that. There's some more paper, some great Alice paper. Lined paper. Here's another belly band that I used just with some gorgeous scrapbooking paper. Again, this page went in upside down. But again, you know, it's Alice. And there's another altered paper clip here, and just some scrap paper that you can use to write on. There's oh, this is really cool. I found this digital. I hope I'm still on camera here. This is Alice in Wonderland in shorthand. It's the coolest thing. So if I can find, there's the chapters, and there is some of the story written in shorthand. How cool is that? It's Grieg shorthand, or Greg shorthand. I'm not sure how that's pronounced, but I thought that was super, super cool. And there's another one, another large recipe card that I've just collaged on. And some tracing paper, and there's the walrus and the oysters. A little page from a vintage art book, bird book. There's another piece of, oh, there's the March hare with a teacup and some mushroom tags and journaling cards tucked into this really fun mushroom pocket. There is the king, or actually I think he's the knight. And there's another one of the coloring pages from the Alice coloring journal or coloring book that I found. And there's the sweet little deer and lots of mushrooms and trees, large flowers. There's another Alice. Here's another one of those really cool flip fold out pages. I've literally forgotten about this until just now, so I'm really glad I'm doing a flip through of this because I'd completely forgotten that I had done that. Now I can use it again in my other journals. There's the other side of that tracing paper with the little tiny mouse under that bottom corner. Here is, again, I don't think I glued that down. It's just a flip out. And there's some really lovely paper here with a deckled edge. Just some nice vintage stationery. And then with these little mushroom tags, I just created a little tri-fold journaling card and clipped it to the side here with one of these really great Tim Holtz clips. Lined paper. This is another botanical book page. Here is a pocket that I created with Stamperia paper, and on the inside there's a fun little letter. This is a paint chip from one of our hardware stores, but of course it has the lock and the key, or the doorknob and the keyhole. So I had to use that, and I just put, tea stain paper on the back to make it a better journaling surface. There's some more tea stain paper and some more scrapbook paper, another card, some botanical washi sticker. Here's a pocket that I created, just a little tuck spot here. So this can fit all the way in, but this is just a little tiny vintage postcard piece of paper that you could write on or glue somewhere for decoration. There's the other end of that envelope. Bird book here. Here is a spray of, or a fan of cards that I've glued into the top corner as a tuck spot for these really fun journaling cards. They ask, who are you today? Organize your own stupidest tea party. Write down 6 impossible things. So they're fun journaling prompts. If you're not really sure what to write about, they will help you come up with some fun ideas. And there's the back of the back signature. And on the very back page, I did this really great library card and library pocket. I believe, yep, I've done it as a double pocket. So there's a pocket here and there's a pocket in the back there. So that's the original library pocket. And then I just glued a pocket over top of it. It's a pocket on a pocket. And here is I think that's that's an actual library card. And I just put L. Carroll, Alice in Wonderland. So I stamped that on. And there we have it. That is the Alice in Wonderland journal from the beginning of 2020 that I had completely forgotten I made. So I hope you enjoyed that flip through, and hopefully it inspired you a little bit. This one I'm not completely sure if it will end up in my Etsy shop, only because I have to just double check. Since this was a prototype cover, this style of cover, the plastic, I'm not sure if it's fully secured around. I really had a brain fart when I was doing this. I had a plan and then completely disregarded the plan while I was putting it together. So as long as it will stay all in one piece during shipping, it should end up in my Etsy shop, but I just need to confirm that. If you have any questions, you can always leave me questions and comments in the chat below. I always love hearing from everyone, even if it's just a simple hello. And please remember, if you haven't yet, to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm really trying hard to grow it. So we're up over 300 now, which is really exciting. And I haven't forgotten about the tutorial I promised at 200. Life got in the way big time. So I'm working on that. In fact, on just to the right of me here, I've got my little list of supplies and everything is sort of ready. I hope to I plan to start filming some of that this evening. So fingers crossed all goes well, and I should have a tutorial up in the next couple of days, or the first part of a tutorial. So thank you so much for coming to check out my Alice in Wonderland book, and have a great day, friends. I hope you're having an amazing one. Bye now.